The greatest hamburger place ever.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not actually, speaking of like just sort of open source and like looking at things openly, like I just like going in and out and seeing them make the burger.
Yeah, it's right there.
They chop the onions and they it's you just see everything getting made in front of you.
Yeah.
It's great. But yeah, like it should be like, how many wake-up calls do you need?
And you got Gavin Newsome, who's running around saying we all have California derangement syndrome. He's just like ripping off Trump derangement and calling it California derangement. It's like, no. How many corporations have left California?
It's crazy. Like,
hundreds.
Yes, hundreds.
Joe Rogan and California Governor Gavin Newsom's heated back and forth is only getting more intense, and now Elon Musk has stepped straight into the middle of it. What began as a sharp exchange of opinions has morphed into a full-scale public clash, with Rogan delivering a rapid-fire stream of criticism aimed squarely at Newsom's record and California's most controversial policies. Musk didn't sit on the sidelines either. He jumped in with his own blunt commentary, adding even more energy to an already explosive debate about the state's direction under Newsom. The result is a mix of fiery commentary, dark humor, and political theater that's as riveting as it is chaotic. There's tension, there's comedy, and there's a lot to unpack. So buckle up, because this one is absolutely worth the deep dive.
But there's always something. That's what's nuts. There's always some new law that's passed, some new insane thing that California's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like a giant chunk of it's happening in California. The most preposterous things that I get.
Yeah.
How many corporations have left California?
It's crazy. Like,
hundreds.
Yes, hundreds.
Right? Hundreds.
Yes.
That's not good.
I think In-N-Out left.
Yeah, In-N-Out left. They moved to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, we can't do this anymore.
Right. And
it's
like
the California company for food. It's
Yes.
like the greatest hamburger place ever.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not actually, speaking of like just sort of open source and like looking at things openly, like I just like going in and out and seeing them make the burger.
California has watched a steady parade of Fortune 500 companies pack up and head out, and many critics point directly at Governor Gavin Newsom's administration for creating what they describe as a tougher, less welcoming environment for business. The list of departures reads like a lineup of corporate heavyweights. Tesla made waves in 2021 when it shifted its headquarters from Palo Alto to Austin, Texas, citing suffocating regulations, overwhelming living costs, and a bureaucracy that felt more punishing than supportive. Oracle took a similar path a year earlier, moving from Redwood City to Austin in search of lower taxes, cheaper operations, and more freedom for its growing workforce. Even Chevron, a century-long California giant, finally had enough, relocating its base to Houston in 2024 after years of frustration with skyrocketing expenses and constant red tape. These exits paint a troubling picture. California's once iconic economic model may be losing its shine, pushing away the very companies that helped turn the Golden State into a global symbol of innovation and opportunity.
But yeah, it should be like, how many wake-up calls do you need to say that it needs to be reform in California? You know?
Well, the crazy thing that Newsom does is whenever someone brings up the problems in California, he starts rattling off all the positives. The most Fortune 500 companies, highest education. But yeah, that was all already there
right.
before you were governor.
But how many Fortune 500 companies have left California?
Right. And then you guys spent $24 billion on the homeless, and it got way worse.
Yes. Like the homeless population doubled or something. Like people don't understand like the homeless thing, because it sort of preys on people's empathy, and I think we should have empathy, and we should try to help people.
It's almost surreal when you actually take a moment to think about it. California has poured an eye-watering $24 billion into battling homelessness. Yet instead of shrinking, the crisis has nearly doubled. And honestly, hardly anyone is shocked anymore. The issue isn't the funding, it's the approach guiding it. Rather than rebuilding communities or helping people genuinely restart their lives, the state's policies have unintentionally made street living feel like a permanent, even normalized option. Massive tent encampments now dominate sidewalks and public parks, transforming once vibrant areas into scenes of decline. Meanwhile, well-intentioned government programs often end up sustaining dependency instead of creating progress. The result is thousands stuck in a loop that promises hope but delivers stagnation. It's a heartbreaking cycle of wasted billions, political posturing, and moral theater dressed as empathy. leaving California's streets looking less like a beacon of progress and more like a failed social experiment unfolding in real time.
The homeless industrial complex is really it's dark, man. That network of NGOs should be called like the drug zombie farmers, because the more homeless people and really like when you meet like somebody who's like totally dead inside, shuffling along down the street with a needle dangling out of their leg. Homeless is the wrong word. Like homeless implies that somebody got a little behind on their mortgage payments, and if they just got a job offer, they'd be back on their feet. But someone who's, I mean, you see these videos of people that are just shuffling. They're on fentanyl. They're like taking a dump in the middle of the street. They got like open sores and stuff. They're not like one job offer away from getting back on their feet.
Musk's point hits directly at the heart of the issue. It's becoming painfully clear that certain groups lean on the language of compassion while benefiting from a system that keeps money flowing but delivers little real transformation. The tough reality is that many people living on the streets aren't just victims of circumstance. They're trapped in destructive cycles of addiction and untreated mental illness, with no real structure to help them climb out. What they need isn't more political theatrics or inflated budgets packaged as moral virtue. They need action. That means stronger recovery programs, expanded access to meaningful mental health care, and targeted drug intervention in high-risk zones. Combine that with transitional housing and real pathways back into the workforce, and genuine progress becomes possible. Until then, California's system will continue rewarding stagnation, pouring billions into programs that maintain the crisis rather than resolve it. And that's not just a policy failure, it's a deeply human one.
It's a propaganda word.
Right.
So, and then the these sort of charities, in quotes, they get money proportionate to the number of homeless people or number of drug zombies.
Right.
So their incentive structure is to maximize the number of drug zombies, not minimize it.
Right.
That's why they don't arrest the drug dealers. Because if they arrest the drug dealers, the drug zombies leave. So they know who the drug dealers are. They don't arrest them on purpose. Because otherwise, the drug zombies would leave and they would stop getting money from the state of California and from all the charities.
This revelation is a wake-up call, exposing exactly why California keeps funneling billions into its homelessness crisis while conditions only deteriorate. The difficult truth is that much of that money never reaches the people who need it. Instead, it gets swallowed by a maze of nonprofits, consultants, and bureaucratic programs that prioritize activity over measurable results. It's a familiar story, good intentions buried under layers of red tape and mismanagement. The setup mirrors what happened when the Trump administration cut ties with certain USAID-funded charities after discovering huge portions of their budgets were consumed by political agendas and administrative overhead rather than actual humanitarian work. The same pattern is unfolding in California today. When funds meant to transform lives end up padding paychecks for middlemen, the system stops serving the public and starts serving itself. California doesn't have a homelessness funding issue. It has a transparency and accountability issue wrapped in compassionate language but weakened by a lack of oversight.
Is that real? So they're in coordination with law enforcement on this?
Yeah. This is a diabolical scam. And San Francisco's got this tax, this gross receipts tax, which it's not even on revenue; it's on all transactions, which is why Stripe and Square and a whole bunch of financial companies had to move out of San Francisco because it wasn't a tax on revenue; it's a tax on transactions. So if you did trillions of dollars transactions, it's not revenue. You're taxed on any money going through the system in San Francisco, and that money goes to the homeless industrial complex. That tax that was passed. So there's billions of dollars that go, as you pointed out, billions of dollars every year that go to these non-governmental organizations that are funded by the
San Francisco, once the shining crown jewel of innovation and tech power, is now watching its reputation crumble as businesses leave in alarming numbers. Crushed by sky-high taxes, endless regulations, and policies that seem to punish success, companies of all sizes are finding it increasingly impossible to survive, let alone thrive, in the city they once proudly called home. What was once a symbol of ambition and creativity has become a cautionary tale about how overregulation, soaring costs, and political stubbornness can push even the most resilient industries away. And at the center of this unfolding frustration stands Governor Gavin Newsome. Critics argue that under his leadership, California's economy has stumbled. Businesses are fleeing to more welcoming states, homelessness continues to surge, and crime has become a daily worry. Despite ongoing pleas from business owners, community leaders, and frustrated residents, Newsome remains committed to the same policies many believe are driving the Golden State deeper into turmoil. The result is mounting anger and disillusionment, with calls for accountability growing louder by the day.
It's a self-licking ice cream cone situation. They get this money. The money is proportionate to the number of homeless people or number of drug zombies, essentially. So they try to keep that. They try to actually increase, because that in some cases, like it's somebody did an analysis. When you add up all the money that's flowing, they're getting close to $1 million per homeless per drug zombie. It's like $900,000, something like some crazy amount of money is going to these organizations. They need to keep them in the area so they get the revenue, so that they don't arrest the drug dealers, because otherwise the drug zombies would leave. So they're kept in this sort of perpetual zone of being addicted, but just barely alive.
California's homelessness crisis will only end when its leaders decide they truly want to solve it, not just talk about it for political points. Real change requires courage, not carefully staged displays of compassion. For years, some progressive activists have promoted the idea that the homeless should simply be left alone, as though life on the streets is a reasonable long-term option. That mindset doesn't uplift anyone. It normalizes suffering and calls it empathy. What California urgently needs are bold, results-driven actions. Expanded rehab and mental health treatment, cleanup of dangerous encampments, genuinely affordable transitional housing, and laws that protect both vulnerable individuals and the public. This isn't about cruelty. It's about restoring dignity, safety, and accountability. If the state continues choosing denial over action, the problem won't just remain in California. It will spread outward, carrying the same failed policies into neighboring states and turning a local crisis into a regional threat.
So how is this coordinated with like DAs
Yeah.
that they'll prosecute people?
Yeah.
So when they hire they push, so they fund the campaigns of the most progressive, most out there left-wing
Yeah.
DAs. They get them into office.
We've got that issue in Austin too, by the way.
Yes.
So some friends of mine were telling me that like the library's unsafe. Like they took their kids to the library, and there were like dangerous people in the library in Austin. And I was like, dangerous people in the library? Like that's a strange. It basically get drug zombies in the library.
Oh, Jesus.
If Elon Musk's concerns hold any weight, California's homelessness crisis might not simply be unresolved. It might be sustained by the very structure meant to fix it. Musk argues that the system has grown into an industry of insiders, consultants, nonprofit executives, and political strategists who benefit from a continuous flow of government funding. Instead of tackling core issues like addiction, mental illness, and unemployment, billions are funneled into programs that look impressive on paper but achieve little in practice. The result is the illusion of progress, a system that keeps the crisis alive rather than resolving it. And if Musk is right, that isn't accidental. He believes California's progressive establishment has turned the crisis into a political narrative, using it to promote themes like inequality and systemic oppression while taxpayer dollars disappear into administrative black holes. If that's true, California isn't fighting homelessness. It's inadvertently reinforcing it. Meanwhile, the crisis has escalated into a public safety emergency. In many cities, encampments have become hubs for open drug use, unpredictable behavior, and rising violence. Residents report harassment and attacks in neighborhoods that once felt safe. Small business owners are struggling under waves of vandalism, theft, and property damage. Police are stretched thin, torn between enforcement and managing a humanitarian disaster. The fear spreading among Californians is impossible to ignore, and many believe the spike in crime is tied directly to the unchecked growth of homelessness. It's a crisis shaped by flawed policies, misguided priorities, and a political culture more invested in optics than outcomes.
Wasn't there a crazy story about the judge who was involved, who had previously dealt with this person, was also invested in a rehabilitation center and was sending these
conflict of interest?
Yes. So sending people that they were charging to a rehabilitation center instead of putting them in jail, profiting from this rehabilitation center, letting them back out on the street.
Yes, and
violent, insane people.
And there, in that case, I believe that judge has no law degree or a significant legal experience that would allow them to be a judge.
Joe Rogan cut straight through the noise when he said what many people have been thinking. Far too many individuals benefit from a system that rewards failure. And that's why California's homelessness crisis never truly ends. An entire ecosystem has grown around it. Politicians promoting talking points, consultants landing lucrative contracts, and nonprofits collecting constant funding while the situation only declines. It's the only explanation that seems to fit why billions of dollars are spent year after year with so little improvement. And then came the moment that changed everything. When Chinese President Xi Jinping visited San Francisco, Governor Gavin Newsome cleared entire homeless encampments virtually overnight. Years of excuses disappeared in a single day because the state finally had the political will to act. That one decision proved the problem isn't impossible. It's inconvenient to confront. The real tragedy is that California's leaders appear more focused on optics than solutions. As Rogan bluntly put it, the crisis continues not because it's too complex, but because too many people benefit from the chaos. California doesn't lack the ability to clean up its streets. It lacks the motivation to disrupt the power and profit tied to keeping them as they are.
I have friends that are comedians that called you a and I got pissed off.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Like
definitely. No, because you did that thing at the My Heart Goes Out to You.
Everyone
everyone, all of them.
Literally.
Tim Walz, Kamala Harris, every one of them did it. They all did it.
How do you point at the crowd? How do you wave at the crowd?
Do you know CNN was using a photo of me whenever I got in trouble during COVID?
Oh, man.
From the UFC weigh-ins. And if the UFC weigh-ins, I go, hey, everybody, welcome to the weigh-ins. And so they were getting me from the side. And that was the photo that they used. Conspiracy theorist podcaster Joe Rogan. That's what they used.
Yeah, but that's what the left is today. It's a super judgy and calling everyone.
Absolutely. When the far left decides they don't like you, they go all in to tear down your reputation. Just ask Joe Rogan or Elon Musk. The strategy never changes. It's the same well-worn playbook. Vilify, distort, and smear until the public sees you as the villain. They twist statements, amplify outrage, and weaponize headlines to shape the narrative. Rogan was labeled a misinformation threat for simply hosting diverse conversations, while Musk was painted as a danger to democracy for buying Twitter and defending open dialogue. And we've seen this dynamic before with Donald Trump and his most vocal supporters. Relentless criticism, non-stop investigations, and a media echo chamber trying to silence dissent. It's rarely about truth. It's about control. Anyone who challenges their worldview instantly becomes a target, because for the far left, tolerance only applies when you agree with them. At its core, California's crisis isn't just about homelessness. It's a reflection of deeper issues. Broken incentives, political hypocrisy, and power structures that reward chaos. Billions of taxpayer dollars disappear while streets grow more dangerous, and leadership continues looking the other way. The evidence speaks for itself. California could fix this, but doing so would threaten the political and financial interests of those who gain the most from keeping it dysfunctional. And that wraps up today's video. If you found this eye-opening, hit that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.